and thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are doing the monthly TarotScope for Taurus for October 2019. We will be using the Spirit Keepers Tarot Vitruvian Edition by Mademoiselle Wynn. Absolutely amazing cards. The messages are so on point. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started by clearing out any negative energy that may be existing. Okay. October for Taurus, Spirit. October for Taurus. Any guidance for Taurus? Anything you need to be aware of? Any guidance at all for Taurus, Spirit? Any guidance? And now we are going to look for our significator card. And here we go. So it looks like Taurus will be focused on love, relationships, family, domestic affairs, children, and possibly even home. So let's see what message Spirit has for Taurus. Okay. Our first card is the Tower. The blasted tower is struck. The staff of Moses from Key 9 has transformed into a lightning bolt. Alongside it, the Trishula descends down, the trident of Shiva, which in mythos was used to sever the first head of Ganesha. The Trishula is also symbolic of the Holy Trinity. This is a fall, a trial that will test the soul. The Tower is the spirit of disappointment when you feel what you have worked hard for is not propelling you towards the higher ground you desire. The Tower of Babel was constructed when a united humanity endeavored to erect a tower that could lead straight up to heaven, and thus would provide humans with direct and easy access to the celestial realm. Yet such an endeavor was struck down by the divine fires of lightning, crushing the human pretension that there could be an easy way to enter heaven. The Tower card is a beneficent spirit born out of that narrative and that memory, appearing before you to prevent you from falling prey to the delusion that material conveniences can accelerate spiritual awakening. The tale of the demon is present here because Key 16 portends having to face the potential for malevolence both within you and in the world around you. This is the spirit of having to voluntarily accept suffering. There is no spiritual transformation until you accept that your own suffering and also the suffering of the world are your responsibility. There is no easy or direct path to awakening. To complete your great work, there is only the path of toil, labor, suffering, sacrifice, and attainment of wisdom through experience. That experience can only come through the passage of time. The spirit of the tower appears when the message you need to hear is this: change your direction. Before the physical construction of your great work can manifest, you must build a solid inner foundation. Focus on that inner foundation, and then when the conditions are right, the physical construction of your great work will manifest. This is the moment your material and spiritual worlds collide. The spirit of the tower appears to you now in an effort to guide you through the challenge of dismantling your own preconceived notions. A talisman is given to you, a battle axe, which you must wield to remove the obstacles in your way. Heed these teachings. There can be joy in sorrow and stability in change. In the background, an erupting volcano makes known the presence of Pele. The bolts of lightning strike the tower, which begins to crumble, but also it strikes to break the chains that had linked the tower to the chains of the demon from Key 15. The initiate now realizes that the demon's chains bind the material tower, not the lovers. In the foreground, a battle axe dripping with blood is offered. A message this card delivers to you is to find that battle axe, because it is the axe that will empower you to navigate the matter at hand. Blood dripping from the blade symbolizes past experience, which must now be utilized and applied to the situation. The two crescent moons from the headdresses of the two sphinxes in Key 7, Key 16's numerological relative, are inscribed upon the axe. The crescent moon is also an iconographic representation of Shiva. The axe is a symbol of war and sacrifice, but it is also associated with lightning. Per biblical lore, an axe striking the root of a tree symbolizes the last judgment. Key 16 is the second key in the final septenary, and Key 20, Apocalypse, also known as the last judgment, is the second to the last key in the final septenary. The axe is also significant in Freemasonry, symbolizing one's initiatory courage to reveal the divine mysteries. For the magus to return to the light and glory of God, magic must be pursued without arrogance or ego. Another word for magic is science. When the Tower card appears, reevaluate your intentions. An adjustment of those intentions can bring an adjustment of fates for the better. Key 16 can also be an omen of armed conflict. Our second card is the Haunt. Restful sleep eludes a figure who sits upright in bed, face buried in hand, in slight fetal position. Behind the slatted wall of swords is a dark horned shadow. The shadow is the Haunt. The background is an illusion of space, a seemingly endless, spacious, checkered room that leads through an archway to an endless hall. As Aleister Crowley calls it, this is the Cathedral of the Damned. This is anxiety personified, anxiety about what your future holds, because at least for the moment, your perception of your situation is bleak. The astrological glyphs of planets and zodiac signs stitched into the big bedding signify how you feel. You feel haunted and bound by your fate. And yet what the imagery on the Nine of Swords card reflects back to show you is that your perception is an illusion of space. You feel despair over the cruelty in this world, and you are not wrong. But you are wrong about your helplessness. The haunt is the haunting of our own past actions, our inner demons that we have not resolved, our regrets, and the actions we have taken both against others and against ourselves. The haunt is also your spirit ally, and an appearance during divination made by the haunt could be this beneficent spirit detecting malefic energies or psychic poison arrows in your vicinity and alerting you of such presence. Thus, the haunt is often assigned to conduct a full spiritual cleansing, banishing, and to engage in a more proactive shielding or personal protection rituals. Exorcise that which is causing debilitation. And our final card is the Chancellor. This spirit represents rectification measures that counter karmic consequences. It is the spirit guiding you towards balanced judgment and making clear decisions. Do not judge based on appearances. Choose balanced action, balanced words, and balanced thought. When the Chancellor appears to you, it is a call to make the necessary adjustments so that you might restore balance. The Angel of Justice arrives when all considerations have been duly weighed and the resulting outcome of the choices you've made, your actions, and your speech has now been determined. Key 11 marks that point when the truth comes out. It is the moment of deliberating whether an action taken was moral or, if not, how the action can be rectified. The Angel of Justice is tasked with maintaining the equilibrium of the universe and thus the equilibrium of your inner temple. The scales of your life are about to get tipped so that balance can be maintained. When the Angel of Justice wields in her right hand appears as a sword, but serves as a pen. The Chancellor is also the primordial spirit of the scribes and of Scripture memorialized after experiencing the turning wheel of life. The Chancellor works through scribes and Scripture. The spirit who works through Key 11 is the personification of discourse that achieves harmony, justice, and reveals the truth. The imagery depicted on Key 11 is the angel seated in the Hall of Two Truths, weighing your heart against the feather of Mot, the Egyptian goddess of truth and justice. Thus, when the angel appears to you, it is now your turn to have your heart weighed against the feather of Mot. Key 11 marks your moment of divine accounting for all that you have done and how it shall weigh towards an outcome. I hate to say it, Taurus, but October does not look like it's going to be a fun month for you guys. You've got a breakdown coming of some relationship, whether it be your partner, your spouse, or a business partner. Something is going to happen, and it's going to happen out of the blue, and it's going to hit hard. If you look at the haunt, they're saying that it's a delusion, that it's things that are made up in your own mind, and then you're being judged. Your heart's being judged by the feather of Maud. So I want you guys, if you start having trouble this month, really stop and think, what's going on? What's causing this problem? According to the haunt, is this something made up in your mind? Are you trusting your partner, or are you nagging them? Are you constantly questioning them? Are you calling 24/7? Do you think you cannot go one day without talking to your partner or whomever this is that you're in a relationship with, that you're bound to in some form? What is it that maybe you're doing wrong? And how can you prevent this from happening? This is catastrophic, and it is going to it's just going to tear you to pieces. It's going to haunt you, literally haunt you. But you really need to stop and think. In any relationship, it needs to be teamwork, and there has to be trust. And also, you don't need to talk to someone every single day. If they didn't call or text you today, that's okay. There's lots of other stuff for you to go out and do. I really, really, really don't want to see you get hurt. So please think about your actions and prevent this from happening. I don't want to see you going through chaos. I hope that today's message has given you clarity and will help lead you and guide you throughout the month of October. If you would like a more personal and detailed reading, please go to my website at www.conjureknits.com. I offer phone readings, video readings, and chat readings. Just click on one of the links at the top of the page. I hope you all have a very, very beautiful month of October. And love you bunches!